So today we're going to take a look at building a website using Google Sites. And first question that you might ask is, how do you get to Google Sites? And that's pretty easy. So when you're in Google Drive or you're working with Google Apps, you have this little grid icon up in the corner here. If you click on that, you'll see that there's many Google tools and applications that you can get to. If you click down here, even more from Google, you'll see that there's a whole slew of things that you can do. And so that's how you get to Google Sites, by clicking on Sites under Home and Office. And then as you can see, these are the different sites that I've been playing around with. And so right now the site that we're looking at is Kathy's Portfolio. However, if you wanted to create a new site, you just go to Create. You pick a site name, like this could be your student name, and then your URL would be https sites Google site / and then of course your name. So whatever you put in here for your name of the site, that becomes part of your URL, and then you just simply press this, fill in these little this little code here, and you can create your site. You can start with a blank template, or you can browse this gallery and select a template. So you can also press or type in, for example, portfolio. Let's do a search on portfolio and see what kind of templates show up. So as you can see, there's lots of different things that you can do to create your site. So these are all good, and you can use any of these. And today I'll show you just a site that I created rather quickly, just to sort of touch on some of the things that Google Sites can do. So we'll click on Kathy's Portfolio, which is the name I've given this. And it should probably be Jason's portfolio. However, I call it Kathy's Portfolio. But anyhow, as you can see, this would be the home page, and this would be the work page. This is a collection of things that the student could have, projects. And then this could be a resume page, for example. And you could start filling that in. You could add a PDF file here for your resume, or you could, very simply, you could just cut and paste your resume, lay it in here, and then edit with these tools that I'll show you in a second. So, how do I create a new page? That's probably the first thing we want to look at. And that's simply with this little button up here, New Page. Click on New Page, and you'll see that you can name your page, and then you can say, what kind of a page is this going to be? Normally you'll create a web page. However, you could also create a list page or a file cabinet. File cabinet could be actually very good for a portfolio if you wanted to include samples of things you've written, for example, during high school, things like that. So anyhow, let's go ahead and call this dummy page. This is just an extra page I'll probably delete later. Now it's saying please wait while it creates the page. And now I have this page called dummy page. Now I can edit this dummy page in lots of ways. And this is what these tools are for up here. So what we'll do is, the next thing we really want to figure out though is, how do I add this page to the tabs that you see up here? And so what we want to do is we want to go in and we want to look at the other things that you can do with Google Sites. Once you have a site layout created, you can go in and you can edit that layout. These are things like header. This would be the information up here at the top of the site. Horizontal navigation, sidebar, which would be like putting things on the left-hand side of your website. Site width. Right now I'm using a custom width of 100%. However, you could just do whatever the theme's default width is. And then simply let's click inside this horizontal bar. Let's add a page, and I'll come down and find my dummy page to add. I'll put that in, click OK. And now you can see that my dummy page has been added to the horizontal navigation here. Okay, now if I wanted to remove dummy page, simply click in here again. This is the horizontal navigation bar area, and I can simply take that out. I can just delete that pretty much the same way that I added it. So when you're finished working with anything you're working with, you just close it. And now let's see what I want to do in terms of editing. So now I'm on the home page, and let's say I wanted to edit some text. So by clicking on the little pencil tool, I'm able to get into the text, and I can make any changes and things that I want to. So this is our rich text editor up here. If I want to add images or create links or a table of contents, anything like that, I can simply insert it. There's a lot of things I can insert, including maps, YouTube videos, charts, calendars, things of that nature, HTML box, text box, etc. Let's say that you actually wanted to get in and mess around with the HTML. There's actually an HTML editor. So if you know HTML, this is just a lot of table structure here with some div tags. You could go in and edit that yourself as well. Let's just, for example, say that I wanted to take a section of text and just make it italicized. Easy to do with any of these text editing features that you see up here. You've seen these in other programs. They really shouldn't be new to you. And then you can see there's an opportunity for you to create links. Let's say I wanted to link to a resume. Then you simply go to the link tool, and then you enter a URL for your resume. And then of course you can click open this link in a new window, and that would open up your resume. So that would assume, for example, that your resume has been uploaded as a PDF file, for example, to a Google Drive and shared. All right. So let's look at the work page for a second. This represents, different kinds of projects. So let's say as a MAP student, you might have some photography from your freshman and sophomore year. And then from your junior year, you might have some films or animations. These are very, very easy to put in. What I've done here is just create a table with 4 cells. How do you do that? Click on the little edit button here. And you can see that at the top you can format and insert things like we just did. But this time we're going to look at table structures. So in this case, I've created a 4-column table followed by a 2-column table. So here's my 4-column table, here's my 2-column table. Once you've created those, you can always go in and change width and height simply by dragging, moving around. And we'll undo that because I don't want to change that, but I'll just show you the idea here. And then of course, you can also change things like height if you want to. All right, and then in terms of inserting this kind of an image, that's real easy. Again, you just put your cursor in the box, insert image. All right, so you'll notice too that the image, when you click on the image, you're also able to align it on left, in the middle. And so what that's doing is that's aligning it within the cell of the table right here. And then you can make the image medium, small, whatever, however you want to do that. And then down here, what I've done is just created some text underneath the YouTube video. How do we add a YouTube video? Very simple. We just come up here to Insert. We come to YouTube and we place in a URL, and then we give it some information about how we want that YouTube video to be displayed. So the only other thing that I'll show you would be how do we get the URL of a YouTube video. So let's look at that real quickly. Most of you probably know how to do this, but in case you don't, let me connect to YouTube and I'll quickly show you how to do that. All right. So I'll click one of the playlists I have on my YouTube channel. And okay, let's go ahead and do that. And as you can see, this will start a movie. This used to be a free movie. It looks like it's a charged movie now. But anyhow, you can come down here to share, and this is where you can get the YouTube URL. You simply cut that. So copy or cut. You go back to Google Sites, and then you simply insert YouTube, and that's where you would paste your URL. So that's about it in a nutshell. It's pretty easy. Along the way, you just continue to save your work as you're going, and then in the end, you have a site. So what I'd like to do is I would like to, first of all, let's save that, and then I'll just show you, kind of prove to you the URL and how that works. And so for this, you can see that this is my URL. This is the name I've given that project. And then if I want to make it public on the web, certainly I can do that. I can say anyone with a link, or just for specific people. And this is true of most of the Google tools, at least that I've worked with. So let's go ahead now and let's log out, and let's see what this would look like to anybody in a non-logged in state. So for example, here's what we look like in a non-logged in state. So this is what a viewer would see. This could be very, very beneficial for you just in terms of collecting your work and putting it together. Okay, thank you very much.